Welcome. This is Aparna, and I'm going to guide you through this meditation of awareness of thoughts. In this practice, you have the opportunity to expand your attentions to explore body sensations, sounds, and thoughts. And when you're ready to open to all of these, to the full range of events within and without, as they move and change, appear and disappear in awareness. Practicing looking at thoughts rather than from thoughts. The intention of this practice is coming back to the body and present moment awareness. And attention you should pay is noticing recurring patterns in the mind and body in relationship to the thoughts, how they develop and play out. I invite you to keep the attitude of non judgment, kindness, having a beginner's mind. So let's begin by finding a comfortable position, seated in a chair or on a cushion. If you're not feeling well, you can even lie down and practice this meditation. Perhaps if you are sitting, feeling the ground beneath our feet, sitting bones making contact with the seat, spine growing tall, head balanced on top of the spine, allowing the hands to rest on the lap or thighs, allowing the body to become still. If at any time sensations in the body become too uncomfortable, or thoughts or emotions arise that are too difficult, remember it is always possible to come back to the rhythm of our breath as a safe place to rest. When it feels right, move your awareness and attention to gently noticing the movement of your breath, feeling the sensations as the breath enters the body and leaves the body of its own accord, without controlling, simply breathing in and breathing out. Starting to notice the breath in more detail and beginning to notice that breath has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Let's explore that with the in breath. So, breathing in and noticing the beginning of the in breath, middle of the in breath, and end of the in breath. Continuing to explore. Similarly, noticing the out breath and noticing that the out breath has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Sensing the rise and the fall of the abdomen, perhaps placing hands on the tummy, feeling the breath and its rhythm. Just let it roll in and roll out, simply riding the waves of your breath from moment to moment. If the attention has already wandered from the breath, which it can, just simply making the breath center of the attention again, breathing in, breathing out. And now, when you're ready, expanding your attention beyond the breath to include also the entire body, sitting, becoming aware of sensation in the body, perhaps sensations of contact with the chair or cushion, perhaps the touch of clothes on your body, or how your hands feel in the moment, sensing the temperature, noticing how sensations sometimes stay for just a short while and how other times they linger longer. Noticing how they change in intensity, shift, and pass away as a new sensations arise. Similar to breath, body sensations also have a beginning, middle, and end. Noticing nuances of sensation. Now allowing your attention to shift from the breath and the body to the sense of hearing. Not seeking sounds, rather receiving sounds, whatever is available from within the body and from the environment near and far. Becoming particularly aware of hearing. Noticing how the awareness receives sounds without effort. How some sounds are very short and some are long. How they are varied in texture. How there is a space between sounds. Noticing how the mind labels sounds. And it has opinion about sounds, likes and dislikes of certain sounds. Noticing any desire to move away from some sounds. Making a space in which sounds can be experienced as it is, without judgment. And as we beginning to lean into the sound, we notice that this change in intensity. And same like breath and body sensations, sounds also have a beginning, middle, and end. And when ready, allowing attention to shift from the changing patterns of sensations and sounds and letting it expand this time into thinking, the realm of thought, practicing seeing thoughts not as distractions, but rather bringing our awareness to the thinking process itself. Noticing how thoughts, just like sensations and sounds, arise, stay for a while, and then dissolve. They too have a beginning, middle, end. So, practicing looking at thought, noticing when we get lost in the content of the thoughts, allowing thought to be in the foreground of awareness with sound, body sensations, and breath in the background. Maybe gently saying, "Hello, thought," "Goodbye, thought." Practicing looking at thoughts rather than from thoughts. Practicing noticing thoughts, perhaps labeling thoughts, planning, worrying, dreaming, remembering, gaining perspective. Practicing looking at thoughts rather than from thoughts. Gently coming back to the anchor of the breath and the body sitting here. If we notice we are carried away in the current of thinking, practicing coming back to observing. Thoughts as separate elements that come and go. Thoughts moving through an open and spacious mind. There's no need to try to control them, but simply just letting them come and go. Just practicing watching them arise naturally, labeling them, or just simply saying hello, thought, goodbye, thought, and letting them pass away. Practicing looking at thoughts rather than from thoughts. They arise, stay for a while, and then they leave. Now bring awareness to thought in the mind, whatever is coming up. The same way, look at them as if they are projected on the screen at the cinema. As we sit watching the screen, all sorts of images are flashing across the screen. We practice simply noticing each image as it comes. Coming back and anchoring to the body and breath. Noticing the body sitting, breathing. Now imagine if you're sitting on a rock in the middle of a stream, looking at the water, and the leaves are falling from overhanging branches, dropping onto the water. We're just watching the leaves as they pass by, practicing looking at thoughts rather than from thoughts. Imagine as if each thought is a cloud in the sky. Some are small, white clouds. Some are big, black thunder ones. Some may even be so big that at times they cover the whole sky. Practicing looking at thoughts rather than from thoughts. Gently coming back to the body sitting here, breathing. Allowing the breath to roll in and roll out. Bringing attention to include the entire body, from the soles of the feet to the top of the head. Being present to the totality of the experience and sitting here in silence. And now grounding ourselves, earthing ourselves, breathing in and breathing out, down into the ground. If it feels appropriate, perhaps taking a moment, bring our attention to the room that we are sitting in, gently opening the eyes. And perhaps taking a moment to congratulating ourselves for taking time to do this meditation. This itself is an act of kindness. Remembering that practicing in this way helps create a wider, deeper, more open way of being in our life, in which we can see more clearly and make more conscious choices for our health, well being, and freedom. Gently turning our awareness to sounds in the room, maybe starting to move and stretch in any way that feels good right now. The meditation is now complete.